All right, well, thanks for tuning in today. Today we're going to show you how to mull one of our double hung units. Right here we have an architectural double hung. This would also apply to our clad comfort tilt double hung. So a clad double hung unit to a transom. Today we've got a sachet transom. The same list of instructions would apply to a direct set clad transom. So we're going to get into that. Got Juancho here to help me out. He's going to go over the actual process and I'll kind of explain it to everyone. Before we get started on the mulling, I want to show everybody what kind of tools that you're going to need to get the job done. And all of this can be found on our website at www.sunwindows.com. Under our technical tab on the top right hand corner, you will find detailed instructions. So you can print this out, use it as a guide if you like, or just watch this video. So we'll show you, these are the tools that you'll need to complete the job. You'll need a hammer, a rubber mallet, a clamp to hold the two windows together, some vice grips, pliers. This is going to be if you need to remove the nailing flange, which we'll get into that a little later in the video. A caulk gun with some silicone sealant. Here we have a Dowel Sil 1199 silicone. Any kind of neutral cure silicone will work. Always recommend a tape measure. I'm sure everyone's got one of those, just to make sure that we sent you the right parts, that they fit. You will need a nail gun with a 1 1/4 inch pin nail. So doesn't necessarily have to be pneumatic. It obviously makes the job a lot quicker and easier if so. And then a putty pencil if the unit is primed or painted to help fill the nail holes to the interior. So that is basically the list of tools, and now we're going to get started with the process. Okay, so step one, we're going to take the base unit, in this case the double hung here, and we are going to grab it, and we're going to lay this down. We always recommend, out in the field, if you're working on gravel, any kind of job site, work condition, to put a piece of cardboard or some kind of protective layer down to help protect the aluminum cladding from any kind of risk of abrasion. So the first step Juancho is going to demonstrate is the nail fin removal. So you're going to take your pliers and just gently rock back and forth, removing the nailing flange off of the side of the unit that you're going to be mulling the other window to. It's important to note that if you select this window, if you order this in our quote tool as a field mull application, this step will already be completed from the factory. We're showing you this in case there's something that arises on the job site where you need to mull a unit that wasn't specified mulled. We always like to show just what that process looks like. So now that the nailing fin has been detached from both units, you will simply slide these two units together, making sure that they're lined and that they're flush. And then this important part right here, this is our field mull kit. So when you order a window and select to be field mulled, you'll see something like this arrive with your window. It's going to contain your exterior mull cover, your interior mull cap, and then your mending plates that you'll need to mull the units together. And it will have a job identifying sticker that will let you know if there's multiple field mull kits, which mull kit is assigned to which units, and you can match the stickers up. So now you'll use the clamps to make sure we get these windows tight and flush against one another. All right, and so once you have flushed the units utilizing the clamp, now it's time to install the mending plate. So you simply take a hammer
One on each side.
and one on each side of the mold. And so, Juancho, does it matter where this mending plate goes? Vertically here, you want to try to get it in the center,
yes,
or?
Right here on the really down right here by the wood. Okay. If you put it right here, we'll crack the wood.
Yeah. So you want to make sure you're not installing this plate up here, because this is a piece of trim wood that can easily split. So you want it down here in the meat of the window. All right. And we're going to do the other side now. Okay, so then the next step of the process, while you have the window face down, aluminum on the bottom, we're gonna go ahead and, in this case, hook up our trim nailer with a 1 1/4 pin nail. And we're gonna apply the interior trim wood. So you wanna make sure you get this properly aligned and centered. And so you want to make sure when you're putting these nails in that you try to off-center them. Just visually, when you're going to fill these, it will look better if they're off-centered. Recommend at least every 6 inches, 8 inches or so. Okay. And then the next step will be puttying in this case, because it is a painted unit. We're going to fill these nail holes. And this is something, obviously, depending on whether or not your unit's pre-finished. If it'll be stained. Okay. All right, so important to note here, when we are clamping these two windows together, it's okay to have a little bit of gap. And if you want to show, you can see just kind of on the edge that there's a slight gap. That's because this piece of trim wood is going to cover any gap there. So it's important not to clamp these too tight, because if you do that, then you risk the exterior of the window actually pulling this up, and then your mull cap to the exterior might have a hard time fitting in. So that's an important caveat to remember when you're clamping the inside. You want it to be flush, just don't over clamp it, over tighten it, which could then pull this unit up to where your mull cap would have a difficult time fitting in. Now we're gonna flip the unit up, flip to you. All right, now that we have the wood side completed, the mending plates on, and the interior wood piece installed, we've now flipped the unit over, and now we're going to demonstrate how to install the exterior mull cap. So first thing we're going to do is, again, use our clamps, and we're going to bring this together. Make sure that the units are nice and flush here. We're going to line our exterior mold cover and then take a rubber mallet. It's important to use a rubber mallet in this step of the process so that you do not damage or dent this mold cover. So it essentially acts as a zipper. As you started on one end, it kind of zippers through to the other. Stop that. All right, now we're going to demonstrate the last step of the process. We're almost done here. Now we have our silicone gun, and we're going to fill this gap that we've created. So see, Juancho's going to start on top of the mending plate. We just want to get a nice bead down into the cavity. Wipe off any excess, and then we're going to move to the other side. All right, and so now we have successfully molded a sash set transom on top of an architectural double hung. As I mentioned before, the process is exactly the same if this were a direct set clad unit or if this were a clad comfort tilt double hung. You can see it's pretty straightforward and easy to do. And if you have any questions, again, you can refer to our printed instructions or feel free to give us a call and we'd love to walk you through it. We appreciate your business and look forward to providing services, products for you in the future. Thanks.